Alright, good evening everybody, welcome to this evening's stream. It is hot today. It is very hot. What's the temp? 23 degrees it's telling me in here. That is hot. Right, let me get the game up. Got some cool stuff to show you tonight, which is awesome. Let me also get the music started. What should we go with? What on earth was that noise? There's a train that has flange squeal, and I haven't worked out which one it is yet. But oh, that was right in my ear. Hopefully you guys can hear the game. Let me know if you can't. It might be quite quiet, so bear that in mind as well. What music should we go with? I fancy a bit of Planet Zoo again. I'm really enjoying the Planet Zoo soundtrack. It's the one I've heard the most often lately. Where is it? There it is. And I really love. And I'm gutted that I won't actually be able to hear it right now. Where is it? I can't find it. Still can't find it. I'm trying to find the theme. You, me, and other animals. You can hear me and the game. Good stuff. You heard the flange squeal then. It is loud. Alright, we're just going to go with Carousel of Animals to get started. Let me get up the new animation as well. I've already mentioned this in a Football Manager video. You will see that, I mean, first of all, it froze there. That's not very good. But the where it says the artist's name, there's no gap between that and then the name of the song coming round again. It's really annoying. Really annoying. Apologies for that. I'm sure someone will point it out still, because it wouldn't be YouTube if people didn't point out my small mistakes. Right. Oh yeah, the horn. The horn is, I mean, every train here has a horn. We have the underground that just rolls through all night. I can't remember if I have it on a reduced service or not. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Do you know what? I can't actually remember. That's good, isn't it? Right, yeah. So I haven't started the recording yet. I'll do that in a minute, because I'm going to do a little bit of an intro, where I'm going to talk to you guys about some really cool stuff that is happening both in my version of the game and also from the BR Trains team. There goes a 319. I haven't done the 319 liveries yet. I had a struggle with the Mark IIs, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. Which is kind of, I know how to fix it, but it's a long job, and I can't be bothered right now. When the time comes, if I have a patron, for example, who wants Mark IIs, then I'll do it. But right now, when it's just me, I don't mind it being a little bit off. Again, I'll explain what I mean in a second. I'm over here at GSJ, Guard City St. John, the hub of the Guard City Great Eastern franchise, and also a stop on the Underground, the HLR, and the western end, northwestern end of the Transrapid network. I'm tempted to get the Transrapid up and running. I know I mentioned this, was it last week or the week before? I'm really tempted to get it up and running now. Be interested to hear what you guys think about that. I do still need to be can't speak. Still need to build the terminus, rebuild the terminus down at not Fort Flom, what am I talking about? Down at Bar City. Fort Dronford, isn't it? Bar City, Fort Dronford, I think it currently terminates at. I still haven't decided what I'm doing with that, so that's what's holding me back right now. But now I know that there are maglev trains from around the time period that we're working in. I think it'd be really cool to actually get it up and running and see how it goes. Fastest trains on the network, they will be. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that idea. But yeah, the reason I'm over here at GSJ is because the Great Eastern franchise has been successfully converted over to speed limit operation using signals. That was the mouthiest sentence I think I've ever said in any of my videos. Half of it was unnecessary. What have I done then? So, as usual, all of the platforms here have the new speed limits applied, 10 miles per hour in, 15 miles per hour out. That's not a standard as such across the network, but I think for some of these termini it makes more sense to do that. And then out of the station, I think it's 15 miles an hour crossing these bridges. No. That was a bad example, because I always choose the one-way one. Why do I do that? 25 miles an hour here, and then is it 15 here? There we go. I think it might be the same here. No? I think this one is 15 miles an hour from back here, actually. Yes, it is. Okay. So it's not entirely consistent, but it's reasonably consistent, I would say. Reasonably, to an extent. But this is all done. And because I got all this done, I was able to redo some of the timetables. I am going to add some more services. I'm really tempted to extend the Great Eastern franchise down as far as Drentbourne. And maybe even up as far as Beffingway. But that's not confirmed yet. So don't take that as a literal. Certainly don't add it to the map just yet, because it may or may not happen. But yeah, part of the rejig of the Great Eastern. So I've done both branches here. This way down to Henning Hall, all the way down to Denston. And then I've gone from Henning Hall all the way up to Nut Hill. And then I've gone from Nut Hill all the way back down to Renston via Winston Kylestra. So it is all done. And on top of that, the cross-region service between Denston and Monningpool Falls has also now been converted. So the main line between Denston and Fort Flonwood has been done. I think I've done it for all of the fast and slow lines. I believe I have. And then the bit I haven't done yet, which is part of what I'll be doing over the next couple of weeks, is the line from GSMA down to Fort Flonwood. The reason I've held back a little bit on that, I kind of want a rejig of the junctions here at GSMA. The thing that bugs me right now is there's no way to have terminating services. I mean, it's kind of a way of having terminating services from GSMA go down to Fort Flonwood. But they have to cross over all of these junctions here, which is a little bit of a faff, a little bit annoying. It is possible. The other alternative is to have the trains come out this way, down through Shoreham, and then follow the main line this way, follow the main line this way, and then branch down and around this way, through here, and then down to Rinston Airport here, and then down to Fort Flonwood. But then that kind of defeats the point of having this 4-track main line. And I'd like to keep this 4-track main line because it's very good for the through services from Guard Lake and GSG. So I think a bit of a rejig might be needed somewhere around here, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. I might just have a couple of services go in here. What would be cool is a set of lines here that then come down and join up with this. That could work. We'll see. I'm holding off on the big news, by the way, which is the liveries, because I know I've posted them in the Discord, so those of you who are on the Discord will have seen them outside of the game, but I haven't really shown much of them inside the game. Now, I chose to start this stream at 4:25 in the morning, which is perfect because there's no trains out. That was really bad planning from me. But if I come over here, there is in fact one of our DMUs. This is a 151. Nope, a 150 in M4J rail livery. Oh god, there we go. Better. I kind of like it. From this bit here, it looks all right. On the pictures here, it looks a bit too red for my liking. I should have swapped the red and the blue round. What I can do, which I love, being in charge of these now, is if I do want to do that, all I have to do is go on Photoshop, swap over the colours, and then save and export and put it back in the game. So I can have two variants rather than one or the other, which I quite like. And in fact, I have done that with the HSTs. I did post on the Discord which one did you prefer. You guys said the one that was red and blue, but I quite liked the one that was black and blue. So where is it? I'm just going to buy one very quickly and show you. The red and blue one is this one. You'll see I've got rid of the red on the nose cone because it was flashing and I didn't like that. It does still flash on one of the carriages, but you can just say that's a gimmick. It's got a flashing light on it, that kind of thing. And then this is the variant, which I haven't removed the nose from that, but actually it's not flashing, so that's not really an issue. And it's not flashing there either. Thank you, George. Very kind. I do still like the... I might as well show it while I'm here as well. I do still like the GWR version. Very nice. In terms of the GWR, I actually had a little oopsie at one point because when I added the long distance variation of the M4J livery, I replaced the GWR one in the list, so I moved the GWR one down one and then put the long distance above it. But what I didn't realize is it counts it as like a registry, so it just takes the number, and that's what that livery is. So for a very brief moment, all of the HSTs on the GWR network were in M4J rail livery, so I had to quickly send them back to the depot and swap them all over again. But they are now, I think they are all converted. Yes, they seem to be, which is good. I haven't done all the DMUs yet. There's quite a few more of those that need doing, but all the HSTs are now switched over. And actually, going back to the Great Eastern, something I've done which I quite like, you guys might not, is if I select you, this is the Mark IIs with 33s, but you'll notice I haven't changed all of them. So like this rake here, we've rented it, hired it, leased it from BR, and we just didn't bother repainting it. Same with this loco. We could in theory, wow, excuse me, we could in theory have, why are you stopped? Don't know why you're stopped. We could in theory have put the non M4J loco with the non M4J carriages, but I liked the idea of having like a little bit of a mix and match. And if I select the right depot again, these are more, again, I haven't finished doing the Great Eastern yet. I've been doing it bits and bobs at a time. But yeah, here for example, you can see there's other carriages that are still in BR livery. You can also see the lovely flashing light there as well, which is awesome. Yes, now here you can see the issue I've had with the carriages. Believe it or not, in Photoshop, this first class carriage is the same as this brake standard carriage. Obviously there's another red line, which is why it looks more red, but to me that looks like it's just red and black, whereas the others look like they're blue and red. They are the same. I can promise you they are the same. But there was a bit of a glitch. In fact, you can see it here. Notice how the carriages are miles higher than the loco. In reality, they're a pixel higher. Apparently they float slightly. I think the loco looks too small myself, but I think it's John on the BR Trains Discord has made some tweaks to the carriages, and this was the issue I was talking about, where I could select each layer separately, move the pixels into the right spot, and jobs are good. But it's such a long faff, and I'd rather just bring new trains in than have to constantly redo old ones. So I don't mind it looking like this for now. Before I make the game available for download for you guys though, I probably will go and change it, just so, you know, it's not a complete nightmare. The other cool thing is John, as well as identifying problems for me, which is very nice of him, he's also in fact working on some of the more modern multiple units that have come to the UK. So there is that new GRF that I've downloaded that adds things like the 195s and the Novas and things like that. But I think he's adding them into the main BR Trains. Forgotten the word. He's adding them into the main BR Trains new GRF. I nearly said it then. I completely forgotten the word. Strain? Patch? I don't know. Something along those lines. But yeah, so if those of you who are more interested in modern stock, BR Trains might still be a good solution for you, because they will be getting added in shortly. I've seen some previews that they look very nice indeed. He likes the 390s as well. He's got the Avanti liveried Pendolino, and again, I do quite like the Avanti livery. I'm not so keen on Avanti still, but I don't mind their livery. Right, what are we doing today then? Now I've talked to death about rail over here, we're going to be building some more rail lines ourselves. Oh yeah, the HLR trains I'm going to do at some point too. They're going to look good. I have no idea what livery I'm going to adapt though for that one. We'll have to see. Right, let's open up the plan list, show all. So we're not working over here in Guard City at all tonight, but I just wanted to show you those little bits and pieces there. One more thing as well before I start. There will be no stream next week. I think I'll be taking a week off from videos completely. The reason is, next Thursday in particular, I'm down in Sussex. Is it East Sussex or West Sussex? I can't remember now. But it's my granddad's birthday, so I'm going down to see him. Socially distant, of course. And because of that, I won't be back for 5. I probably won't be back for 7. And also, I need a break. That's the other inconvenient truth. I could do with a break because it's been weeks since I last had time off. So yeah, I will be taking a break, and then we'll be back in 2 weeks' time, which is actually my mother's birthday, but hopefully I'll be allowed to stream. I have already set it up. You might have noticed that earlier on the Discord. So yeah, no stream next week. That was the bulk of the news there. And besides that, I think that's it for admin. Pretty sure that's it for admin for now. Can't think of anything else. I'm sure there'll be something really important that I forgot to mention. Right, let me hit the record button. Today we are finishing the South Coast route right the way down to the South Coast. I actually had an idea for this, which may work. It depends. Where's this line going again? Does this one go up to... Ah, okay, yeah, I remember now. Goes up to Waterside and to Hartberg. What I was going to suggest was from Quincity, the eastern line turns east and runs this way. The western line continues on the line that we'd already planned, and then they don't technically join together again, but one forms the junction that turns east and the other forms the junction that turns west. But I couldn't remember what this line here was planned out for. Now that I know, it's probably best to just leave it as is. I don't know, who knows? We might build another junction actually. There could be another triangular junction somewhere. In fact, this bit here could be a good candidate, maybe over here for another junction. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, let's get on with this line. I'm just gauging how long it actually is. It's not too bad actually. We should get through this in a reasonable amount of time. We might even start planning some services along it if we get the chance. One thing I would like to do, again in the not too distant future, is start running a service from Sanley up to Sunnington, both on the west coast route and also via some other key stations like Fort Flonwood and places like that. I think that would be a cool one to do. It's kind of like, it goes into that budget rail argument that I keep making, having these long distance janky trains, like for example the cross region trains that I have, and the cross country will have this too, I suppose. Right now they use Mark 1s. This is something I was thinking about the other day, and it's a completely stupid idea, but you never know, it might be worth trialing out. A lot of people right now are scared to go on trains because of coronavirus, and I think that's perfectly justified, and I think we need to stop this mentality of trying to encourage people to get back on trains just by saying, you know, we'll take £5 off your next fare or whatever it might be. I think what we actually need to do is acknowledge the fact that they're afraid and acknowledge what they're afraid of and work to actually make them feel more comfortable that way. So for me, they are afraid to travel on trains because there's lots of people around and you know, there's a virus in the air. So why not make it easier to segregate, the right word? I suppose it is. To basically have passengers be in their own bubble away from everyone else. There are loads of Mark 1 and Mark 2 carriages out there with compartments. Maybe even Mark 3s. Did the Mark 3s have compartments? I don't think they did. I think at that point we'd abandoned that idea. There's also a load of heritage railways with compartment carriages who might be looking for a little bit of extra income right now. So not so much on the multiple units, but maybe add some extra services using Mark 1s, Mark 2s. There is a safety element there as well, of course, of how crash-worthy are they still. But yeah, the compartments, I think, because in mainland Europe there are a lot of coaching stock with compartments, just as standard, and I think people feel a lot more confident and comfortable using those during this epidemic because of that. It might be a subconscious thing, you might not even realise that that's how you feel, but it's worth a shot, surely. I'm just trying to think how I'm going to do. Okay, yeah, this might work. I'm going to have to move this river. I'm trying to pair up the slow line and the fast line again. Might have to move the river. In fact, I might have to extend this bridge slightly as well. But yeah, that was just a thought I had. I should probably start recording now too. Let me do that quickly. Let's hover here. Ready for the time lapse, and boom, we are recording. I do love Streamlabs OBS when it works. When it doesn't work, it's incredibly frustrating. And actually, an update on that as well. I tried using my old version of OBS yesterday to record a video, and that had the same problem. Oops, wrong one. That had the same problem with the lag, frame lag. So I think the problem is my processor and not OBS. So I mean, OBS is an inanimate object piece of software, but I do apologise to OBS for accusing them of being crap. Actually, I didn't really, did I? I just said it was annoying that their support team only seem to care about you if you're a streamer and not if you're just making videos. But also the fact that I think they shut down their forums recently, because I went on there last week and couldn't read any forum posts because it just looked like it had been shut down. So that's kind of annoying. So I blame them for that one. Oh, tight arch, that's good. But yeah, I think I might need to get a new processor for this PC. Because the plan then, I have a... What, did I build this in? Yeah, I built this in completely wrong place. That was dumb. I was originally going to upgrade my old PC and use that for streaming. So have my new PC go through a capture card into my old PC and then stream that way. That might still be a thing. But I'll need a new processor for this PC, which means I can probably use the processor I'm currently using in this PC in my old PC, and that would technically upgrade that one enough to then be able to stream. Because at the moment I'm trying to that's not what I wanted. I'm trying to stream and play a game on the same PC, and that's where the processor issue comes in. Although I have tested and OBS does still hang even when I'm not playing a game. So again, I don't know what that's all about. How's our sheep farm there? Oh yeah, I thought that was trees. Is that a new bridge? Yes! So, I saw a post on Reddit recently with... Again, I think I mentioned this on stream a couple of weeks ago. It was a Shinkansen passing across a bridge. In fact, I can probably show you which bridge it was. And yes, I did mention this, because it's when I was doing the high speed I mentioned this. It was this one. And I saw that on Reddit, and I was like, oh, that's a cool bridge. What new GRF was that? And the guy told me, and I went to download it, and I suddenly thought, oh, is it actually compatible with the Total Bridge Renewal set, which is what I currently use. It turns out it isn't, but Jake, I think the guy's name is, who made the new GRF that I'm using here, he's made a new version of Total Bridge Renewal that is compatible with this other bridge set, which is Oz's bridge set. And yeah, it's really awesome. You get all the bridges from the normal Total Bridge Renewal set, like the Tide Arch here, for example. But then you also get the Oz bridges as well, like this one and the high-speed one that I just showed. It does change some of the tubular steel ones. For example, that's now the yellow one rather than the white one, which is a bit annoying. But then there's the viaduct. There's this one still. There's this one still, which is the same as before. Stone Arch, which is nice. The high-speed one. Cantilever, which is the same as before. Truss. Viaduct, which is the same as before. But then if you go a little bit lower, you've got the brick arch one there. And you've also got this one, which I've used a lot. And then if you go right down, you have this one, which is actually if you have a suspended monorail, which I don't. It removes some more of the supports and the structure and stuff to actually make it look like it's a suspended monorail. But it's cool. It's a really cool new GRF. I love the modding community in this game. It's one of the reasons I love this game still, after all these years. Because the amount of work still that people put into a game that, I mean, this version of the game, OpenTTD, has been available now for 16 years. And Transport Tycoon Deluxe, which is what this is an open source version of, came out in 1994, so 26 years ago, and it's still being supported now, albeit not by its original development team, but by a dedicated team of developers who I kind of am a part of now, I suppose. But I mean, I feel like it detracts from the actual developers when I say that. You know, like it discredits them slightly because I count myself amongst their masses. But there we go. Connect these lines up. And we're away. We're heading down now towards the south coast. It'll be so cool once this is done. See trains coming in and out. Really, really cool. So yeah, what's going on in the world right now regarding railways? I did mention quite a lot of rail news on Tuesday. Some good stuff going on. Some pretty dumb stuff going on as well, but it wouldn't be the rail industry without all of that. There was some criticism this week for the Transport Minister for announcing a new scheme to invest in electric cars and charging points for electric cars. A lot of people saying it's money wasted. I don't know if it is though. I still don't think we're at a stage where electric cars are fully sustainable, but I'm certainly not at a stage where I would say electric cars are a waste of money. One of my dreams right now is to own a Tesla. They're such nice cars in all senses. You know, they're pretty fast, pretty luxurious, the massive screen, the technology in it, the fact that, you know, your car effectively drives itself. You still have to be a vigilant driver at the wheel, but it drives itself. And if you have the app on your phone, you can play fetch with it, you know, or you can play heal with it. You can make it follow you. I am very tempted to make this line go through the centre of town here. So yeah, I don't think electric cars are a waste of money at all. I think it's a very, very viable way to invest right now, and it's environmentally friendly too, so it pleases everybody. There we are. So Fretford is going to get a little bit of a makeover. You're right there, George. I'm going to have to be careful with my smooth curves now after making a point of that earlier. There's something, again, like, I still don't think Transport Fever is a game that I'm going to play, ever, really. I'll watch other people play it, but it doesn't really fit my style, which is a shame because it should fit my style, but I just don't think it does. But yeah, when I did play the first one, I always spent ages, it's probably one of the reasons I kept going bankrupt actually, I always spent ages designing my junctions to look good as well as function well. And that's one of my drawbacks. A bit like Cities in Motion. How many times did I used to rebuild things in Cities in Motion to make them look good? A few people used to comment on that as well, about how I used to make things look good, which is a shame. I miss that game, I do. But I'm actually really enjoying Skylines again. So it's good that you guys harangued me to get back into that. The build that you'll see on Monday is my... Actually, it won't be... Well, because I said I was taking a week off next week. It might be Monday. If it's not this Monday, it'll be next Monday. That's for sure. But yeah, the build that I've got coming up in that episode is so much fun. Building that. It might not look it when you watch it back, because I made a mistake at one point, which cost me quite a lot of work. But it was good. It's a good result. And I've already, people are saying nice things on Discord, so I'm looking forward to sharing it. I probably didn't need to bulldoze all of that, actually. That might have been an oopsie as well. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let's build that to there. And then build that to there. And then like that. And we'll have a couple of little bridges here. What have we got? This one? I've actually lost my favourite bridge. That's kind of a shame. Yeah, it is a shame about Grand Central. I think they've given up too easy. I know they've put a lot of money into it already. That's why it feels like a waste to me. Because if you know, if it's genuine reasons like they can't afford it anymore, it's unsustainable, then it makes me question how they were able to afford it beforehand. Because yes, it's been a while since their trains ran, but they hadn't really scaled it up yet. But I think the government should step in here now and say, hang on a minute, we might be able to help you with this. I doubt they will though. But yeah, that's a shame. What Tesla does your dad have? Is it the Model S that's the like the super duper one? I can see myself getting a Cybertruck one day, just for no other reason than to say I have a Cybertruck. I won't be putting sledgehammers through the window though. That won't be happening. I've actually seen a lot of people on the Transport Fever Reddit calling Transport Fever 2, they don't call it Transport Fever 2, they call it Transport Fever 1.5. It just doesn't feel like an upgrade. Even looking at it, there's nothing... They added some things in, like you can build motorways and roundabouts and things like that. But does that warrant a sequel? They've probably improved stuff behind the scenes as well, like the AI system and all that good stuff. But to me, it just doesn't feel there. It doesn't feel like a sequel. It feels like a DLC. I think there's been some issues with transferring mods from the first one over to the second one as well, which I'm not a huge fan of, because then they're basically forcing you to buy, well, not even buy DLC, but they're you know, it puts a lot of people off, let's say. And I know that Dovetail had a lot of criticism originally when they announced Train Sim World 2, until they also announced that assets from Train Sim World would carry over, and that seems to have quietened down again a little bit. They never didn't announce that, by the way. I think it was always part of their plan. But once again, people very quick to have a go without reading the full story. Hate it when that happens. At least give them a chance before you start criticising. Because then, no matter what, at that point, even if they say we were going to announce this anyway, everyone's going to roll their eyes and go, yeah, sure you were. I just think that's unfair. Tesla 3. Oh, it's still a nice car. That is still a nice car. Very nice. Is he the kind of person who, when you get down and sit in it, kind of sits there for a bit in absolute silence and then just pushes the accelerator to the floor? And, you know, you transport into a different dimension. Oh yeah, they got the station extensions as well. But, again, we've got very different opinions on this, and I don't particularly want to argue about it. But having dabbled a little bit in game design myself over the last couple of years, it still to me does not feel like enough of an update. Particularly when you look at some of the stuff that they brought into the previous game as free updates. It feels like they could have just done that. Maybe there was an issue with just updating the current game, and that's why they had to make a sequel. I don't know. That's the bit where I don't know enough about it to be able to pass judgment. But to me, it just doesn't appeal. It just does not appeal. The way I look at it is, I put out my viewer survey, and a lot of people said they didn't like me playing Siege because they're not a fan of that kind of game, which is totally fine. But for some reason, whenever I say I'm not a fan of a certain type of game, like Transport Fever, people keep trying to convince me otherwise. And, you know, it's my choice, isn't it? I'm not necessarily forcing people to watch my Siege videos. If you don't want to watch them, you don't have to. If you want to watch them for me, that's great. I appreciate that. But no one's forcing you to watch them. So please don't force me to play games I don't want to play, because it'll be very obvious that I'm not enjoying it. And it takes a lot to convince me when I have an opinion on something. And I'm you know, by any stretch, I am not saying it is a bad game. I think it's a very, very good, solid game, and it's pleasing a lot of people, but I just don't think it's for me. I didn't need to bring this down a level. One thing I am wondering is, have I managed to convince anyone yet to watch F1? Because if I have, I've got someone to talk to about it, which is awesome. But also, if anyone watched the Italian Grand Prix last weekend, oh boy, especially if you're new to F1, I first of all have to tell you that not every race is that exciting. But second of all, what a race! For if you're a first-time F1 viewer and that is your first race, it's going to give you very unrealistic expectations about Formula 1. It was an incredible race. I think it's the best F1 race I've ever seen, live at least. I've seen replays of better ones in the past, but oh my days, what a race. I loved every second of it, and the great thing about F1 this year is we go again this weekend. Plus the Football League is back this weekend. Stevenage play their first game. And also the Premier League is back this weekend. Newcastle play their first game. What a time to be alive, people. What a time to be alive. It's fantastic. 2020 might not be such a bad year after all. There must be a bit of a delay on the stream, because the chat's kind of like a minute or two behind. I feel like there might be some quiet points during this as well, just while I'm focused on building. I seem to have an injury in my arm at the moment as well. I think it might be RSI, which is another reason I'd like to take some time off next week, just to rest my arm and my wrist, because it's not the arm that I had tendonitis in, but I'd still rather not have it again in my other arm, so time off, much needed. I'm sure you guys could use a break from me as well. So there will be F1 videos this week. There won't be F1 videos next week. There won't be Football Manager videos next week, although there will be one tomorrow. There won't be any OpenTTD videos next week. The highlights of this stream will go up, or the time lapse of this stream will go up week after next, so on the 22nd. Plus City Skylines and all that good stuff. There will be Siege videos coming back, by the way. The reason I'm waiting at the moment, and I probably should Google this to see if it's true, but the new update, Shadow Legacy, when it comes out, I believe one of the features is you'll be able to watch back your matches, and in my case capture them. And I played some matches off camera the other day and had an absolute blinder, so I'm waiting to see if I'll be able to record those before because I think it's your previous 12 you're able to watch. So I just want to make sure I can record those. If I can't, for whatever reason, then I'll make Siege videos again. But for now, I really want to record those matches because they were so good. I had the flukiest headshot at one point. It was brilliant. Some really good team members as well. It's perfect. When you find a good team on Siege, it's like angels start singing. The sky, you know, a huge ray of light just comes down from the sky. It's awesome. I love that game so much. I'm so glad that I got convinced to buy it. That is one where I'm glad someone convinced me to buy a game that at the time I wasn't really interested in. Let's do this. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to mention. I put this on the main hub earlier. But yeah, today is 2 years since I graduated from uni. It's also my brother's birthday tomorrow, but that's irrelevant. Today it's 2 years since I graduated from uni. Evening, Frank. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, 2 years. Where does the time go? I think of everything that I've done since then. And I've mentioned this again in my Football Manager video that I recorded yesterday, but this year for me, to go from being a director of a company to that not working out for various reasons, and I still think one day I'll sit down and tell that story properly, but I don't think now's the right time for that. But yeah, to now be working with a football club like Hashtag, even though I'm such a small part of a much bigger machine, it's awesome just to be able to have that on my CV. Even you name drop Hashtag and, you know, doors just fly open for you. It's been a strange year. 2018 was a strange year as well. It was the best worst year of my life because I had loads of family bereavements, but then I graduated uni finally after so many years of trying. So it was a really weird one. Let's not be... Oh, God. That's nowhere near where I was meant to build that. Let's not be too downbeat, though. I still see it as a positive. Always got to see the positives. Otherwise, what's the point? And again, this year's been a shit year for so many reasons, but it's also been an awesome year for so many reasons. I think I've built this one too far over now. Yes, I have. I am the derpiest derp who ever derped. Go away, port. What do you reckon? Another suspension? Or stone arch? No, I've got quite a few stone arch bridges. I think modern suspension again. At least for the fast lines. For the slow lines, we'll go for something a bit more classic. Lovely stuff. I think this cantilever is actually a slightly updated version of the original one. If you look at those supports in the middle there, that does look a little bit different. Yeah, one day we'll sit our kids down and we'll tell them about 2012, how we were all meant to die, and then we'll tell them about 2020, where we all nearly did die. What a story. What a strange time we live in, though. The whole world brought to its knees by a virus, and not a computer virus. That's the because everyone, you know, I think back to the year 2000 with Y2K, and everyone thought we were going to die then. Different kind of virus. Alright, this is the depressing part where I zoom out and realise that I've only built a fraction. Actually, I've gone quite a way. Yeah, this will take up the whole stream. I'm pretty sure it will. I'm sorry to hear that, George. You've got things like Skype though, right? Or Zoom. Other video chat providers are available, although why you'd use those, I don't know. Not sponsored. Skype's been a good one. I'm seeing my grandparents next week for the first time since, I want to say February. Maybe March. Oh, I think we were down there for... No, not Easter, because Easter was in lockdown, wasn't it? What did we... We went down there for something. I can't remember what. It was around March time, just before lockdown started. So I've not seen them since then. So I'm going to have to try and stop my grandmother from running out the house and bear hugging me, because that completely defeats the point. ...1918. Yeah, 1918 was a weird year for lots of reasons as well. Spanish flu, World War One. Oh, a depressing topic. Why did I decide to talk about this tonight? I have no idea. Let's talk about happy things as well. We'll do a balance. That's good. I mean, at least, again, like in modern times, it would be much nicer if we could go and see people, but at least we still have technology to help us talk to family and things like that. It could be a lot worse. Not saying that it's not bad, of course, because it is, but that's what makes me feel a little bit easier about it. Is it could be a lot worse. Plus, you know, there's a few good lockdown stories that are coming out of this. Captain Tom Moore, for example. That's a very good story. That never would have happened if it wasn't for lockdown. Long tunnel. Worth doing, though. I think what I'm going to do is have it go up twice. Bit of a shelf. Get rid of this industry. Say up. And then up twice again. And then go through tunnels. So there. Really? Oh. That actually went further than I thought it would. In that case. What was it? There. Oh, okay, I see. That makes more sense. There we go. Now I can line these up. That works out quite well. So what was it? There, and there. I use that line now when I was your age. Because I seem to have this habit of being the eldest member in a group of people. Not quite sure why that is, but yeah. I say it in a very mocking, patronising way though, like someone who's a year younger than me, and I'll just sit there and go, oh, when I was your age. Not everyone finds it as funny as I do. But I like, nowadays, I'm the oldest member in the group, but when I was younger, I was the youngest person in the room. Like, wherever we went, I was always the youngest person in the room. So I had loads of people saying to me, oh, you're so young, you're so young. So now I just do that. I'm that old person that I used to hate. That's me. You know, like when you become your parents, and it's the worst thing ever. Especially when you have kids of your own, and you suddenly realise that you are your dad, or your mum, or whoever brought you up, basically. Have you heard about the PC controllers for Train Simulator that are being produced? Are there any... still can't speak today. Are they anything like the rail drivers? That'd be kind of cool. I was really tempted to get Train Sim World 2. But again, I kind of go back to... I like the fact that they're letting you bring over your assets from the first one. But it still doesn't feel like enough of a new game for me. If they brought in multiplayer, for example, I would stream that with you guys. If they brought in scenario... Well, they've got the scenario editor, which apparently they released an update recently that nerfed everyone's scenarios. So again, people aren't particularly happy about that. But the route builder, if they brought in the route builder, that would be a perfect opportunity to bring back the Somerset Hills Railway. But until that, I just don't have an interest in it. It's just one of those things. I'm not buying FIFA this year for the first time in 12 years because I just don't have an interest in FIFA anymore. I still love football. I play Football Manager. I will be having Football Manager again this year. Hatfield will return. But yeah, just there's a lot of games now where it's either a time thing or it's just I'm sick of being bullshitted by studios about what their game offers. And one of the reasons why things didn't work out for me at my previous employer was because they had this mentality of we're not going to screw our customers, but then sort of behind the scenes that didn't really work out, or it was quite obvious that what they thought was not screwing their customers wasn't not screwing their customers, and in fact it probably would have screwed them a little bit more, along with other people who weren't even customers. And of course I was trying to be the voice of reason, but you know, I never done that before, and it didn't come across as the voice of reason, it came across as the voice of righteousness. So, you know, we all made mistakes. I'm not hiding from that. I regret what I did. I'd like to think they regret what they did. And it kind of got me thinking, particularly today, because as I said, it's 2 years since I graduated uni, and 3 of the people I graduated with were in that company. So I'm kind of that mentality where I want to say something. You know, I want to reach out and say something and try and build bridges again. He says whilst building bridges. That was unintentional. But at the same time, I don't think there's enough time passed yet. I don't think there's enough water under that bridge, again, to use the pun, for that to be a good thing to do. I really don't know. That's the thing. Probably shouldn't be talking about this on a stream. They're not going to be watching. They don't care. As I said, this year's a very strange year. Similar, separate controllers that they have done an AWS reset plunger and door control unit, and a combined power brake controller is in development. That sounds cool. How's it going to work though for all the different types of train? Is it just a conventional, like does the AWS button also work for, is it PZB or is it CIFA in Germany? I don't know much about German signaling systems. They're also complicated as hell. I don't know how anyone understands German signaling systems. To me, it's just a headache waiting to happen. Be cool if they can get it working though, because wasn't Train Sim World not compatible with the rail drivers, which is another thing that pissed off people who owned Train Simulator and had bought these very expensive controllers just to be told that they weren't compatible with the new game. That's one thing I can never get my head round with video games, is I know that different generations of console use different software and things like that, but if you bring out a sequel to a PC game and you make it so that a piece of hardware doesn't work with that game, you really are alienating a wide portion of your audience, because I don't know why that would be a thing. Does the Unreal Engine not support peripherals? Is that what the issue was? I mean, we could have a whole conversation about Epic right now. Not saying I'm on the side of Apple, but I'm certainly not on the side of Epic with the argument that's rumbling on. It's basically like the rich trying to get richer and trying to slap down the next person up the ladder, although in this case they've gone for the person at the top of the ladder. I've watched the first two Millionaires. I have not watched the third one yet. One of the problems I've got with that is my brother works as a greenkeeper now at the local golf club, and he's up at 6 a.m. every morning. In fact, I think he's up at 5 a.m. leaves the house at 6 a.m. So when we used to watch TV was like 9, 10 o'clock at night, and we can't do that at the moment. So there's a lot of shows that I would love to catch up on, but I'm waiting because I'm not one of those people. I am not someone who cheats with box sets. If you are one of those people, you are the worst kind of human being. You know, I think there are war criminals who I would tolerate more than someone who cheats on a box set. Let's map to the keyboard keys. Train Sim 2021. It's also out this month. So, are they not supporting Train Sim World at all now? Is it literally just Train Simulator 20X and then Train Sim World 2? Is that what their roadmap is now? Speaking of, again, this is a reason I'm not that keen on Train Sim World at the moment. They brought out the game, Train Sim World 2, which has been fairly well received, apart from a few bugs here and there, but what game doesn't have that these days? But one of the things that people noticed straight away was their roadmap changed. Like the day of release, pretty much, the roadmap changed. And they've kind of come out now and said that, yes, it has changed. They're not denying it, which is good, because why would you do that? But at the same time, there were features that were promised for Train Sim World that never happened, that were then promised for Train Sim World 2, and it looks like they're still not going to happen. And they're bringing the Isle of Wight back again. Why not make a new route? Because they're bringing the Isle of Wight back, but with the old trains still. And the new trains are coming in end of this year, early next. I don't know. They can add those in. I'm sure they're working on that actually right now. Is it 483s? 484s. 483s I think are the ones that are currently there. And the 484s are coming. D-Train. Perfect example of what I was talking about a couple of weeks ago about reusing old stock. Perfect example. I actually mentioned it on Tuesday as well. The Orion freight trains, the old 319s. Perfect example of reusing old stock. And the M4J network is going to do that too. Every time a route upgrades, another route will get the old trains. Although I'll try not to make it as every time Guard City gets new trains, the North gets the cast-offs, because that's sort of art imitating life perhaps a little too much. Train Sim World 2 is more aimed at Xbox and PS4. I think that's the problem. That was the problem with the first one too, is they focused too much. Would it have been fair if they'd made a PC version and then a slightly watered down version for console? Other developers have done that with their games in the past. I don't think, as long as you still give the console players a decent experience, like Planet Coaster's coming to console this year. They've already delayed it a couple of times because of COVID, but again, people complain about that, and then someone on Reddit just goes, "Are you serious? It's not like they planned this." Again, the voice of reason. But yeah, it's I don't think it's a bad thing to have a slightly different version of the game on different platforms, because then you're playing to that platform's strengths. GTA Online, for example, is a completely different game on PC to console. Literally, the code is different and everything. That's one of the reasons why the PC version was so delayed back in the day. Was it a year and a half after it came out on 360 and PS3? It finally came out on PC. Then it came out on next gen as well. And again, people went, oh, Rockstar, they're just trying to get more money off us. And then they actually played it and realised that it was freaking awesome. And fully justified, in my opinion. People love to complain without reading the facts. Love it. Does my head in. But yeah, I think Train Sim World is too dumbed down because they're making it for consoles. So the PC players don't get that full experience. Because also the graphics is something I've seen people talk about. And I've defended the graphics in the past, but there are times where I've watched a video and just gone, oh, that's not particularly pretty to look at. And I'm not saying it's as bad as OpenTTD, for example, but it's certainly not crisp 4K quality, which perhaps some people would like it to be. I'm not one of those people. I moan a lot about frame rate and stuff when I'm recording, but it's because I know you guys want 4K resolution at 60 FPS. I was actually thinking of doing an experiment where I record a video at 30 FPS, tell you it's 60, see if anyone notices. Could be interesting. I was watching a Captain Disillusion video where he was talking about frame rate. And my opinion is the human eye can only see 60 FPS. So if you play a game at 120 FPS, the picture will look smoother, but half of those frames are just being thrown in the garbage. If you play a game at 240 FPS, you're literally just doing that so you can brag about it. There's no other reason. There's literally no other logical reason as to why you would play a game at 240 FPS. I was watching a Siege video where someone argued that you can see the exact frame at which the barricade gets broken down. And I just thought, why? If you're shooting through it anyway, you're still going to get the kill, no matter how many frames you're seeing. So yeah, I'm not a graphics quality junkie like some people are. I only care about it because you guys care about it, and I want to produce good content for everybody. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't care. I'd record at 720, 2 FPS, just to play OpenTTD. Because, I mean, this actually looks awful, this game, in 1080 in my videos. And certainly at 60 FPS. Like, you can see the lake. In fact, I'm watching it on the preview now. You can see the lake changing colour in the top corner here, behind the chat, where the pixels are doing their animation. It's so pointless. So pointless, and yet people, you know, wars have been fought over FPS. So dumb. I used to get mocked as well for saying that. The human eye can only see 60 frames per second. Films, when you go to the cinema, most of them are 24 FPS, sometimes 25, depending on where you are in the world. Also depending on what zany director they've got in who wants to try a new art style. They're not that crisp and clear when you think about it, or at least not FPS values. In terms of resolution, isn't it like 8K these days that cinematographers use? Very impressive there, but yeah, very low FPS. No one cares, mainly because no one knows. Did I see the geography teacher on Millionaire? Yes, I did. He was the Scottish guy, wasn't he? Very good, and then very bad at the same time. Did he went home with... In fact, did he lose the money in the end? I'm trying to remember what happened. I know there was the woman who came not long after him who just decided she stopped caring about life and lost £63,000 or whatever it was. But yeah, geography teacher did well. I love the fact that he was basically getting his Slumdog Millionaire story in early. So every time a question came up that he knew the answer to, he had a story as to why he knew it. If you've seen Slumdog Millionaire, that's basically the plot. You know, they think he's cheating, but it turns out that he has a story for why he knows every answer. Spoiler alert, he wins the million. Not the guy on Millionaire. Slumdog Millionaire I'm talking about. Yeah, it's good to see Millionaire back. I like how they've done it as well. The phone of friends are a little bit weird. I actually had the idea for if you had just like 30 to 40 people on a Zoom call and use that as your Ask the Audience. I don't know how you'd monitor them to make sure they're not cheating. Maybe if you had a producer on the call as well, just in the background watching. I don't know how feasible that would be, whether that would work or not. But that to me, like, A League of Their Own is back now as well. And they've got an audience watching on Zoom. And I think that works really well. What other show did that? Oh, Britain's Got Talent are doing that at the moment as well, but I hate that show with an absolute passion. But yeah, just getting the audience involved, because it builds a connection to the show still, which I like. Ah, yeah, he went home. Yeah. Fair dues. There are some idiots on the show this year, though. Like, people who forget that you can take the money. Actually, going back to that woman who decided to not even try and just said the wrong answer. I think she knew it was the wrong answer as well. The Lewis Capaldi question she got, I actually knew the answer, but I was quite pleased to see her fluke it, because it's such a weird name for an album. But it's also a very Lewis Capaldi name for an album, so it fits, I suppose. I like Lewis Capaldi, but he's a bit nuts. I like his music. I'm not too keen on him. There. I don't. I've watched it since the beginning. I watch at least one episode every series. The auditions are fine, but again, I'm going to sound like such an old miserable bastard when I say this. I'm getting bored of dance groups, for example, because Diversity won it one year, so now everyone who has a dance troupe wants to win Britain's Got Talent. So you don't have any originality anymore. It's just the same sort of people. They come on, there's a siren in the background, an air horn. They do some stuff where they throw fists around, and then they all stop and the stage lights go down, and then you hear a voice whispering through a microphone somewhere, and then it goes into like this electronic dance funk type music, and then one of them does a backflip over a crowd and the audience loses their shit for some reason. It's so boring. So boring. They're not, they clearly have talent, but it's so boring. I like comedians and magicians and things like that. I also hate the fact that you don't win it unless you've got a sob story. So the dog. Did the dog win it last year? The magician and the dog? Because the dog got stabbed. A magician with a dog would have won. You don't have to tell a story about the dog being stabbed. They have now set up a charity because of it, and I think that's good. So I'm not criticising that. But the fact that the dog was stabbed became such a big story. Never mind the fact that it could do magic. Let's all talk about the fact that it was injured in a knife attack. And kids as well. I'm not a fan of kids on Britain's Got Talent, because they. How do you judge someone fairly when they're 6 years old? Because if they do put in a bad performance, you can't tell them that they put in a bad performance without sounding like an absolute knobhead. So you end up like the semi-final that I watched the other day. There was a kid who wasn't particularly great, but they were going on about, you could be a real star, you could make the final, and I think they did. And I kind of looked back and thought there were at least 3 other people on that stage who deserved it more. If you're 6 years old, come back when you're 7, come back when you're 8, come back when you're 9. When you're 45 and this is your last hope at making it, I find it really sad that that person doesn't get sent through because a kid went through. I do find it very sad. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of... And the fact everyone has to have a sob story as well. It just... so boring. So boring. And singers. If you want to be a singer, go on X Factor. Don't go on Britain's Got Talent. Or The Voice. How many more singing shows do ITV need, and yet they still put all the singers on Britain's Got Talent? So I have to bloody watch them. I nearly swore then. Very passionate about this subject, as you can tell. The comedian the other day, the guy with the... he kept dropping the balls on the floor. I love comedy like that. Proper slapstick, Tim Vine style comedy. I'm a huge fan of that. And he did make it through, didn't he? If I remember rightly. He was the judge. Was he the judge's pick, actually? Yeah, I think he was the judge's pick. And I'm so happy for him, because genuinely he's a funny guy. He is a very, very funny guy. And I hope he wins it. In all honesty, I hope he wins it. But I don't think he will, because I think they'll give it to a 6-year-old who was out of tune. And what can you do? When you're 40 or 50 and you've just lost to a child who really has no talent but is cute, what can you do apart from just stand there and think, what has my life become? I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of talent shows in general. Yeah, X Factor's shit, that's why. That got boring as well, and they tried to mess it up and change the formula and all that bloody nonsense. I hate talent shows, or I hate that kind of talent show with an absolute passion, because it's never about the talent, it's always about popularity. No, I'm done with singers and I'm done with dance groups. I think it has to be a comedian or a magician, or certainly not a dog trainer, because we've had enough of them as well. A magician who's also a dog trainer. That was an interesting twist they put on it last time out. It's still not really that interesting for me. Because I always look at it as, where is this person going to be in 5 years' time? You think back to, I went to Soccer Aid in 2014, I think it was. Sam Bailey had just won X Factor. She performed at Soccer Aid. I can't remember if she sung the national anthem or if she sung another song beforehand. And even then, people were sort of looking around going, who is this? And then she disappeared. Like, no one knew where she was. She's working on cruise ships now as an entertainer, but she won X Factor. That's meant to be a career maker. And I'm not putting cruise ships down, by the way. That's a good gig. But, you know, there's no nationwide tour or anything like that. She's on cruise ships. Does that not feel like a waste? You look at some of the other winners of X Factor as well. They might as well do a show on Channel 5 called X Factor. Where are they now? And they, you know, they go back to Lidl, and there's Leon working the tills. Anyone else remember Leon? Or is that a really obscure joke? He disappeared, didn't he? Either that, or they brought him back next year intact and no one's the end of his name. And he actually is Leona Lewis. I doubt it, though. Let's go. Actually, let's go with this one. Just keep it nice and boring here. Here we are. Oh, lovely place for a station here, right on the riverbank. Might even call it Bankside. Oh god, I've got to name all these stations after this as well. Actually, that's not really too bad. Yeah. Second place does very well. And I don't particularly like One Direction, but I will admit they've done very well for themselves. Very well for themselves. And they seem like decent people, to be fair. I just don't like their music very much, and I certainly don't like their fans. But yeah, that's the other thing. People go on, like Ryland, for example. I don't think he ever wanted to be a singer. I think he just saw X Factor as a way to become famous. And I don't dislike him, sorry. I think he's quite funny. I think he's a very good TV presenter. And that's why I think, again, with my cynical hat on, he did not go on X Factor to become a singer. He went on X Factor for a career opportunity. And to his credit, he found it. Fair play to him. Now he's doing Supermarket Sweep of all things. Who saw that coming? Do you know DeCampo is hosting Family Fortunes as well, by the way? Who the bloody hell saw that one coming? JLS, again, decent people actually, JLS. And I watched the hit list on the BBC. Marvin Humes, he's a good presenter. And I used to listen to his show on Sundays on the radio. Well, no, I forgot to join these up. So yeah, there are plenty of good people to have come out of X Factor, but there are also people who we've never heard from again. And there were people who had to break out in order to become successful, like James Arthur, for example. He got dumped by Simon Cowell, and arguably his music got better after that. I quite like his more recent stuff. I wasn't a fan of his X Factor stuff. What am I looking for? That's what I'm looking for. And again, there'll be people out there who are just sitting there thinking, what the hell's he talking about? And, you know, it's fine. That's fine. To each their own. Joe McElderry, your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, your guess is as good as mine as to what happened to Joe McElderry. We should put up a missing persons poster for him. Have you seen this man? Last seen standing on a stage in Wembley 15 years ago. I like Gino when he does the show with Gordon Ramsay and Fred, whose name I can never pronounce. I don't see him as a quiz show presenter. He doesn't see himself as a quiz show presenter. Actually, I watched him on the One Show yesterday, and even he was saying, you know, they're crazy hiring me for this. That's a good omen, isn't it? When even the host doesn't think they should be there. He had to get talked into it. Oh no, Good Morning Britain can do one. No, thank you. No, thank you. Not with that tosser. And This Morning. I hate This Morning. I hate This Morning. I don't particularly like the One Show. Good Morning Britain, I would very much prefer if it wasn't on TV. I told you I'm a miserable old bastard. I like shows like A League of Their Own, QI. I used to watch Mock the Week, but not as much these days, although the lineup is much better than it used to be now, so I might go back to watching it. I like James Acaster and Rhys James, so whenever they're on it, I tend to watch. Rhys James was on League of Their Own last week. I thought he was really good. Speaking of which, A League of Their Own is actually on tonight again, isn't it? Missing for 11 years. Yeah. I'm sure his family know where he is. I don't. These roofs, by the way, this is part of the add-ons that I downloaded last week. I hadn't really seen them much until today. They're awesome. I might use these a lot more now. Should I build a station here? I suppose I could. Oops. Let's not make all our stations go in the same direction, actually. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? We'll have this one be like a complete opposite of the last one. Cats Does Countdown, yep, I like that. I try not to watch many shows on Channel 4 when I can, because I don't like ad breaks in comedy shows, because it really, particularly like when they take like Not Going Out. I love Not Going Out. That's one of the best sitcoms ever made in my opinion. When they take that onto Dave, and it just gets to a good bit of the show and then it's an ad break, and you're kind of sitting there grinding your teeth, just thinking, why did they put ad breaks in this? And they have to cut like 5 to 10 minutes out of the show so that they can fit the ad break in, and it just ruins the pacing. Not a fan of that. What else do I like? Taskmaster. Taskmaster's brilliant. I'm actually looking forward to seeing that on Channel 4 this year now. I don't like it when Channel 4 steals shows normally, but I think this one they've got a good one. Alex Horn, for those of you that don't know, if you're interested in golf, he has a golfing channel with John Robbins called Bad Golf, and they're both very funny on that, and it makes me feel a lot better about my golf game, even though I haven't played for well over a year now, I think it is. The last time I played golf was in a charity competition, sorry, with Steamage FC, and I won nearest the pin. keeping up my record of pretty much winning every time I play golf. Have I? Oh, hang on. I know what I've done. Fast lines need to move into the middle here. That's fine. That's actually really... I like doing this. It's quite easy to do. Because you just go... like this. Oh, George, you'll be pleased to know my family have started watching Friday Night Dinner. And I have to admit, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'd seen clips of it in the past and it just didn't look that funny to me, but I have now watched it and I will admit it did make me laugh. And I do now say shit on it every time I do something wrong. So, score 1 to you there. Haha, you literally mentioned it as I mentioned it. Yeah, I have started watching it. My family, I think, at the end of season 3. Series 3, sorry. God, I went American then. I do apologise. At the end of Series 3. I've not watched every episode though. I've just like kind of joined them when they have been watching it and then left again because I had an idea for a train livery. Yeah, it is funny. It is funny. I like Simon Bird and I like Tom Rosenthal. I used to watch Plebs. Although I'm at that stage now, I think I've mentioned this before, I'm not going to watch the In-Betweeners anymore now because even James Buckley, who I do watch, and you know, I watch White Gold, I like Joe Thomas, things like that, but James Buckley talked quite openly in one of his videos once about how whenever he hears like gay jokes in the In-Betweeners it makes him cringe. And you know, they've done nothing wrong with the show, it is true to life, but it's kind of a bygone era now. We don't really say things like that anymore. So I think it's outdated humour. So you can still watch it, you can still enjoy it, but it's not really for me anymore. Right, what part of the map is this? This goes down to Sanley, doesn't it? Wow, we always go like out to the coast, back in again, out to the coast, back in again. Yeah, and then this goes back up to Charwood. Cool. How long have I been streaming for? I've been recording for nearly an hour. Hang on, let me check, because it tells me on here, I believe. Or does it? No, sorry, it tells me on here. Got so many bloody tabs open. 1 hour 17. Okay. I mean, that's a pretty decent length for a stream. I will rename the stations before we end. Don't worry about that, just so they can be added to the map. But yeah, another one ticked off, I suppose. Another thing ticked off. Again, if you've checked the... I'll name these as we go as well. So this is Munfingford. If you check what the stream is going to be for 2 weeks' time, it is me finishing off the east coast down to Pruntford. And then once that's done, maybe we do the Trans Rapid then, if I don't do it off camera. Mr. Morris. Is that Jim? I know. Yeah, Mr. Morris. I know who that is. He calls everyone punk rockers, doesn't he? I didn't see much of that storyline. Can you call it that? Is it a soap? Why have all these towns got bridge in their name? I mean, this does have a bridge. You could say that's what the town was named after, I suppose. I didn't like Mr. Morris. Screw Mr. Morris. Jim annoys me in Friday Night Dinner. He's very well played by Mark Heap, but God, he's an annoying character. I hate sitcoms that have annoying characters as well. Like Cuckoo. I really liked Cuckoo the first 2 series, but then, what's his name? The short guy, short fat bald guy. Is it Phil? Is that his character's name? I know the actor's name, but I can't remember his character's name. As soon as he started coming into the series more, I stopped watching because I thought, you know, it's not, the show's not about Greg Davis' character anymore, is it? It's just about this guy, this absolute weapon that keeps walking in and ruining every scene. I forgot to name all these stations, saying them out loud. So we've got Frontbourne, Lardston, Harthingbourne Bridge, Munfingford Bridge, Crunfingfield, and then back up this way. I said Frontbourne, didn't I? We've got Grading Hall, and then down here we've got Frindingville. Up here we've got Kingston Bankside. Fort Sarhatton. These stations are quite close together actually. Not sure if that's a good thing or not. Oh, you're going to be, sorry, Fort Sarhatton South. Fort Sarhatton North. Yeah, a few years ago I would have said he's a pointless character as well, but I do like again, I used to see memes of like, what's this phrase it says to them whenever they turn up? It's like, hi there bambinos, or whatever it is. I used to hate that, but now I find it quite funny. He is a good character, and again, very well played. Fretford, you might notice we went a little bit offline here, but I think this route has actually worked out quite well. Like, Frindingville gets served instead of maybe these places, but bus, that's kind of what my thinking was. If someone has a bus franchise, they can link up all these areas. Plus, if the other main line comes down here, you can link the two main lines together. We can build a branch line even, or we can build a bus. Whatever it might be. I will start putting buses in myself as well. I don't have to wait for patrons. Chunning Head Cross. And then we're at Quincity. Sweet. I will put in some crossovers as well. So I think the first candidate for crossover would be around this area. I think what I might do is put you there, you there, you there, you there, and then on this side there, 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 and there. Like so. And I love the new system with signals because it means I don't have to worry about can I fit enough waypoints in. I still feel a bit iffy doing it near tunnels because you do need to put the signals in obviously, and you can't program signals on tunnels, in tunnels or on bridges. But just being able to do this and know that this is basically set up ready to go now. It's pretty damn cool. I love the system. I was going to talk a little bit more tonight. Someone commented and asked me about this. Martin doesn't really think like the Fox episode. I've not seen the Fox episode either. Not seen that one. Oh, what was that? Oh, Golfing Gamer just resubbed. Hello. You're not chatting on Twitch, no. Well, it's not coming up if you are. Happy birthday for tomorrow, Tom. While you're here. 12 months in a row as well. 24 in total. What was I saying? Oh yeah, someone asked me to talk a little bit more about the story of the M4J network and why I build the way I do. And I mean, there's a backstory to this, believe it or not. There is actually a backstory to the M4J network, or at least in my head there is, as to why everything is the way it is. I was going to talk a bit about that tonight, but I think actually it will make sense to do it in its own video, because then I can share it on Reddit and things like that, and you don't have to watch a 2-hour stream to get the story. Yeah, everyone wish me Big Bro a happy birthday. He's an old man tomorrow. Should I build one here? I think I might build one here. Oh god. Right, first of all, where are the signals? That's a good question. So let's put... I mean, I could just have them cross like this. That's a really weird looking junction, but I think it will work. So you, and then you are Pathfinder. Sorry, you're both one-way Pathfinders, and then you are not. We'll get rid of that signal, and also that signal, and then on this side, you and you like that, and then you and you like that. Does that work? Yeah, I think that works. It's really hard to tell from the angle here. I believe that will work. And then I think that will be the only other one we need, because yeah, by here you reach the coast. Cool. I completely interrupted myself again. That was dumb. So yes, I will make a video at some point. It might still be a long video. And because the other thing is I need to kind of think what I'm going to say, because there's so much I want to talk about, and I don't want it to be a really long drawn out video. So I'll try and make it a little bit more coherent, shall we say. But I know there's a lot of people who would be interested in the story of the M4J network, and I talk about it a lot. You know, I'm always saying the story, and I think a lot of people now are kind of asking, well, what is this story that you keep banging on about? So, good opportunity to actually tell the story. That's a really nice looking bridge, but I wish it had 2 tile wide arches instead of just the one. It's a bit naff. That's also a bit naff. Ooh, that could work. That could work. And actually, because again, I don't want to end the stream just yet. I wouldn't mind putting down some station buildings for Quincity as well. What should we use? I think what I might do is clear out an area like so, and then flatten the ground, clear out a little bit more. There we are. There we are. Right. Then that will go there. I'm going to build a station building with the road going through the centre of it. I saw something like this on City Skylines the other day, and I thought it looked really cool. So I could just go with these generic buildings, like one here, one on the other side. But I don't think I'm going to do that. Oh, this looks good. If I was to stick you there. That, yeah. I'm going to go with that, I think. But I'm going to move this for a second. I will rebuild it, don't worry. Because I want you to go here. And I know it's just the bike shed. Oh, no, sorry. I want you to go here. And I know it's just the bike shed, but it still looks pretty cool. And then on the other side, maybe something like this. So like that. And then flat land required. Dolt. Like that. And then back on this side, maybe that and that. Kind of works. And then this. No? Oh, it's a 1x2. Yeah, that looks cool. Put a fountain here. Anything else? I don't think there's anything else for this bit. Oh, we could put bike shelters and stuff out front, I suppose. But then that comes under non-tractiles. Oh yeah, the roads. Forgot about this. That would be cool. So let's put... this maybe? And this. You and you. Like so. I like that. I think that looks cool. What do you think of the electrification map? I'll be honest with you, I haven't looked at it yet. Because I think, again, it's all nonsense. You know, I mentioned it on Tuesday. There's so many rail projects that have been announced and then quietly cancelled that until I see it complete and I'm sitting on a train and actually riding it, I will not believe it's happened. Sounds cynical, I know, and I'm sure that's not what most people want to hear right now, but that's basically where I'm at, because it's a load of bollocks. A lot of the time, it's just stupid stuff that people say in order to win a popularity contest. So until I see it, until I see it, I don't think it's real. I think that's the best way of putting it. Thank you, Gert. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to put a lot more effort into station designs now as well. Because, again, I kind of had the epiphany playing Skylines the other day. And realising that I can, in fact, make things look good if I try hard enough. So I will be doing that a little bit more. Aha. Oh, yes. Let's put this one here as well, and this one here as well. Nice, nice. And then that one there. Just put a little bit of oh, hang on. There we go. Et voila. So yeah, we've got parking out the front here, which I think looks nice, and we're going to chuck some trees down as well. Ah, c'est magnifique. And I suppose we'll do something similar on this side. Like so, and then we'll put some more parking. It's probably not the best car park in the world, but it's pretty decent. Oh, moron. And it just makes this look a little bit nicer than some station that's just out in the sticks. Not really serving a purpose, you know? There we go, and then... Does it really have to be completely flat? That's kind of annoying. I just destroyed a football stadium for that. That's how much I want this to look nice. I just destroyed a football stadium. Oh, the Premier League's back. It's going to be so exciting. I've missed football. Especially after the way England played the other day. I still am adamant that we didn't play football in that match. I think they turned up playing cricket or something. It certainly wasn't football. Mind you, we're good at cricket, so that's a bit of an insult to the cricket team. Apologies, England cricket team. You're much better than that pile of trash we had to watch the other day. They're not watching. It's fine. what's the difference between that and that? Okay, so you fit those a lot better. Alrighty. So there, 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 and there. And then also there, 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 and there. Then I've got to put the T's in. So one there, one there, one there. And then I've got to put the, was it this one again? There, there, and also there. Demolish all of this as well. Now, if I'm going to put bus stops in, where would they go? Okay, yeah, okay. I know what I'm going to do. Sorry, more demolition. I know, it's not pretty. Got to remember these aren't functional roads as well. I do need to factor that in. Okay. Tree. Shrub thing. Whatever you are. Tree. And then I'll put a little bit of garden, a bit of green grass. That's not very pretty actually, is it? Let me try with a hedge instead. It would be cool if they had a like a corner piece one. I suppose I could go with this. Yeah, that looks nicer. That looks a lot nicer. Sweet. Okay. Back to road for a second. So you are going to go across to here. What did I use again? It wasn't this one, but I'm choosing it for now. Was it? Yeah, it was this one. Apart from the motorway sign in the middle there, which doesn't really fit. There we go. And then this section here, which is all functional road. This is going to be our bus station. So whoever gets this franchise is going to be very lucky. So they're going to have this lovely railway station with the bus station built into it. There we are. 1, 2, 3. We'll leave that one blank. 4, 5. Come on. 6, 7, 8, 9. There we are. I think, in terms of station designs, this is probably my best one yet. In terms of the actual platform layout is probably not as good as some of the other ones, but in terms of the decoration out here, I think this is right up there. So I make that green. I could make that green. Do something like this, or I think that's the only one that could work really. Maybe this one. It kind of works. It kind of works. I think a smarter person than me as well would also run along here. Can I really not? Does it have to be this way? Oh wow, that's so dumb. I suppose this works. If I do that, and then do this, and then what am I going to put here? Another tree? Let's put a tall tree. Boom. Alrighty. I think that'll do for this week, guys. I think that'll do for this week. I might do some more decoration here between streams. I also might go and redecorate some of the other parts of the network. I'm not making promises there though, because knowing me, I'll forget to do it. Again, between streams, because I'm not going to stop playing the game just because I'm not streaming it. I will be doing some stuff next week. You'll probably see me post some pictures in the Discord, so look out for those. But I'm going to be getting the rest of the Great Eastern and Great Western up and running. Then I'm probably going to convert the Great Northern, and then probably even the Southern, Southwestern and Southeastern out of Guard City, particularly out of GSMA, because I really want to get that station fully functional now. So, I mean, if I come back up to Guard City. Actually, before... Yeah, I'm going to scooch over here. Oh, this train's running. That's cool. I'm going to stop the recording quickly. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to... Oh, wow, that plane's flying low. I'm going to get this up and running proper so that most, if not all, of these platforms are in use. Again, using the new speed limit system, it's going to be a lot easier to actually do this now. The rest of the overground as well, because I need to change the overground, the metro, or the underground, and the HLR over to the new system. The HLR is probably going to be the easiest one. That might fix some of the problems that I used to have there as well, so I might be able to run more regular trains. Plus add deliveries in for the trains as well. So all of the Great Eastern stock, there are M4J variants in the game now. Same with the Great Western, there are GWR variants in the game now. But Great Northern, there aren't any yet. I've made the livery for the 305s and the 302s, I think it is. But I've not put them into the game yet because there's some coding involved, which it might not sound difficult, but trying to track it all and look at the templates and all that stuff, it can be a bit fiddly. So I'll do all of that. It's basically every time I convert a route, I'll then convert the trains. And the same goes for the Southern, Southwestern, Southeastern. I love the fact there's 3 main lines coming out of this. Everyone talks about GSG and the complex junctions in and out of it, but GSMA is just as complex for me, particularly because you've got the overground snaking its way through as well. And since we rebuilt it around this area, I just think it looks really cool. But that's me. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button if you've enjoyed the stream, and of course if you're enjoying the series, it really does help out the channel. Thank you for the active chat as well, that's always awesome. I know I was a bit critical last week, but you know, knocked it out of the park tonight, so massive thanks for that. Thank you everyone as well who's watched the videos recently, the sub count, the view count, the like count, the karma on Reddit, it's all been great. Plus the new patrons as well, very, very much appreciated. Everything's moving in a very good direction right now, so I kind of want to keep that momentum going. Drop some comments down below with ideas for future episodes. Once we've done the East Coast, like I said, I'm kind of looking for ideas as to what to do after that. Hello and goodbye, Menacing Cake. You could have said something. I'd have said hi to you earlier. I lost my train of thought then. Badum. Yeah, ideas. That was it. So once we've done the East Coast, I'll be looking for ideas for new routes that need building, for example. So that other route from the South Coast up to Hartberg we could perhaps build, or we could build some of the branch lines. I know again, if you've looked at the next stream, you'll see a little preview. There might be some heritage lines come into the network very, very soon. Not with M4J rail livery. I don't think I could ruin the sanctity of a steam locomotive by shoving my blue on it. Although GWR, is it the King Edward? King Edward III is in blue livery at the moment and looks quite smart actually in that livery. Not that I'm biased or anything. But yeah, any ideas, feel free to drop them down below. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And until next time, let me pause the music. There we go. And until next time, I will see you soon.